Hello. This was just after I showed like the offstage rest stuff, so like seconds afterwards. Yeah, and this is just me figuring out some stuff. Well, not really figuring out, like, I guess like I'm still learning some things from like practicing like this ledge training stuff, but like right now I think I'm mostly just doing execution rather than specifically learning new stuff. One thing I've liked practicing is mid-air, whoops, so right here I will go forward, then turn around jump, so now I'm in my backwards aerial stance, turn around jump, so I'm facing backwards, and then I back air as I do that, so I do one back air, and then I do another back air, and I can do another back air after that, or I can do a turnaround jump back air, hit Falco, then forward air, hit Falco, instantly grab ledge, and I really like that right now. Yeah, I've just been interested in turnaround jumping, which I think is like really useful, and like doing this forces it forces you to be accurate. Because like Falco has like some crazy active hitboxes in this training mode. But yeah, I'm trying to be as good at the ledge as I can be. I want to be like the best melee player at the ledge in the like whole game. And I think it's achievable because like barely any melee players like focus on the ledge, I find. Like they always focus on the stage, but the ledge has like so much use. Like it's invulnerable, it gives you invulnerability, like it can be infinitely refreshed invulnerability, unlike in the later Smash titles. It... what else? It... even like if it didn't give invulnerability, the good thing about the ledge is it limits the amount of moves that your opponent can use against you. So like when I'm on the ledge, I reduce the size of my opponent's toolset, and they are no longer able to have as many options when they're fighting against me, and the options that they do have are quite high risk because Jigglypuff, when she's on the ledge, or off stage as well, she gets to make quite a number of mistakes because she's she's a slow faller, but her fast fall opponents can only make like one or two mistakes and they die. So, yeah, the ledge isn't just about invulnerability or anything. It's about removing your opponent's tools in their toolkit. And And it's also about increasing like the usefulness of Jigglypuff's toolset. So like I can drop ledge forward air and pass through Falco's hitbox. Whoops. And that's like quite useful. You can do it really, really fast. These are like quite precise inputs, so yeah, I don't get it every time. But I need to focus more on, so when you're doing back airs from the ledge, so like you want to be, I'll turn around for it. You want to be around, where's my pen? Yeah. You want to be around like this position when you're going to throw out a rising back air, because then you're going to jump, then you're going to go into this position, and then you throw out a bear. So start here, jump, bear, and then you can come back here, and then jump, bear, jump, bear, jump, bear, jump, bear. You can do that until you run out of jumps. That's quite an interesting thing to do. You can turn around and do fair, and once you've done a fair, you can instantly grab the ledge. There's another move I find interesting from ledge. It is one sec. It is let go of ledge, jump, downwards, pound. Like this is also quite a useful move against Marth, like just in neutral. Full hop downwards pound from Jigglypuff hits Marth on the head, and it's quite useful. Depending on percentages, like, so if Falco was at a high percent, this pound would send Falco up into the air a little bit, and then from here you can do all sorts of things like up air, and once you've done an up air you could string it into a rest. There are all sorts of things you can do with pound. Pound is a very useful move for getting your opponent off the ground and into the air where you can juggle them. Yeah. Oops. I'm trying to do back air, forward air, grab ledge. Yeah, I like that. Let's get out of this mode and go into L cancelling. I going against Marth. Just like, whoops, back air, forward air, grab ledge, back air, forward air, grab ledge. Yeah, so obviously I figured out that you can plank in with several different moves, and you can mix up those moves, which ones you use in order to, like, I don't know, send out different sizes of hitboxes, or to turn around so you can grab the ledge. There are a lot of things you can do. I really like this. I haven't really been practicing this much, but this is what I call like fast fall back air spam. You don't want to down air when you're doing this, because that puts you in a very long animation. Oh yeah, so full hop, falling pound. Hit Smarth right in the head. I recently saw a video and Zane was explaining like what was going through his head when he was fighting against Hungrybox at Summit. And like Zane was complaining that like Hungrybox has been obvious by hunting for these pounds to Mart's head. Oops. I keep on resting because I'm trying to do falling pound. But yeah, that's just part of playing the game. Like, of course, I keep on doing it. Of course, Hungrybox is going to be hunting for these pounds because Hungrybox wanted to put Zane into a disadvantaged state by putting him into the air and putting him into like some sort of juggle, which could possibly end in arrest, or I don't know, just rack up a bunch of percent, yada yada yada. Hungrybox ended up winning off of those pounds, which he was very obviously hunting for, so it was like spacing out. I'm not doing a turnaround. He was spacing out back airs and stuff, and forward airs, just like being a bit scary, and then it would like mix it up with pound, and like he wasn't really hunting for the back airs or the forward airs or whatever, he just wanted that pound. But like obviously getting a bit more percent with a back air is good, or forward air, or falling up air. What am I doing? This is very good. Falling up air, or short hop up air. This is very good too. Up tilt leads into itself, so it can combo into itself, so you can go up tilt, short hop, rest. And that's a true combo, I believe, at like certain percents. Oops. One move I really like is a fast fall forward air. So you do it like above their head and then you fall down, like fast fall down really fast. Works with neutral air too, because like, oops, neutral air has like a long period of time, so no fast fall doesn't hit him with double jump. Oops. But with fast fall, it does hit Marth. Yeah. I think something that's, I don't know, it's like something I've noticed about top level Jigglypuff players is that they really like to like fast fall with like things like neutral air, fast fall with forward air. Not doing forward air for some reason. You can't really do it with back air because back air is so fast. Its hitbox is so short that you can't really fast fall onto someone with it. But yeah, I recommend Jigglypuff's practice fast falling with forward airs and fast falling with neutral airs. It's definitely something I haven't practiced a lot. Actually, this is like the first time I've really practiced it, but like it's something that I've seen and decided would be good to incorporate into my game plan. I'm not really out-cancelling very much, even though I'm out-cancel training. I'm a bit rusty at it. Yeah, I haven't really been focusing on my fundamentals a lot. I guess like out-cancelling isn't like a super fundamental for me, but it really should be. Like everybody needs to get their out-cancelling like down pat. I really need to work on my, like, say I'm being chased by someone, like I was reading, oh yeah, here's something you should definitely do. Read other characters' guides to how to beat your character. So I was reading like a fox guide for how to beat Jigglypuff. And one of the things they said really watch out for is when Jigglypuff is retreating, like running away. So Jigglypuff is running away, and then she, whoops, and then she not doing it. Then she short hop back airs. Like, that's a really dangerous thing to a fox, or to anyone, because, like, Puff looks like she's giving up a lot of stage control. And, like, it doesn't matter if Puff gives up stage control, because Puff, like, is amazing on the ledge. So, like, I actually prefer to exist on the ledge, so I would have absolutely no problem giving up a lot of stage control, especially if, like, I can turn it around into a back air. And depending on percentages, like, that could be like a very inconsequential back air at low percent, but at high percent that could be like very powerful and knock the fox quite a long way, or lead into like a string or a juggle or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, so I think like one of the most important things to be able to do with Jigglypuff is to turn around jump whenever you want to, and it's definitely something that I need to get better at. And yeah, it's weird, like turnaround jumping is like something someone learns as like a Jigglypuff player in like the first couple days that they've been playing Jigglypuff, but it remains a central part of Jigglypuff's toolset. Oops. Like, no matter what level you play Jigglypuff at, like, being able to turn around jump, like, yeah, this is like a good training exercise I recommend. So you alternate between throwing out forward airs and back airs and forward airs and back airs and forward airs and back airs, like lots and lots and lots. Oops. I think you have to do like rising back airs and rising forward airs. guess like the advanced, so I can like try and hit math with like the falling fast forward, back airs, or like forward airs or whatever. Just like keep it around math's head. But like, I guess like the next level of switching between forward airs and back airs and forward airs and back airs consecutively would be to be able to do it at math's level and like be able to turn around jump at math's level. So you don't want to touch the ground. But you want to have them as low as possible. And like, if you're able to have your inputs clear enough with just a turnaround, jump, back air, turn around, jump, forward air, turn around, jump, back air, turn around, jump, forward air, turn around, jump, back air. Once you're able to get your inputs clear enough and not confused and regular, then you should work at incorporating fast falls into the turnaround, jump, back air, forward air, back air, forward air. I don't think like I'm quite ready to incorporate fast falls into this turnaround, jump, forward air, back air spam. Oh. It's like a rhythm to it. So like, if you jump, then, how do I say? So if you, maybe I need to just practice doing, so it's possible to do this rising back air spam while holding one direction on your analog stick. So you just hold facing to the left, now be facing to the right. Oops. And And when I'm doing that, I'm just holding the analog stick in one direction. But because when I'm doing this, if I was to like jump without pressing a button, without pressing A, I just turn around automatically from holding down, from holding to the left. Whoops. But if I very rapidly press A right after I jump, I won't turn around jump, even though I'm holding down the left analog, holding the left analog stick in the direction which would automatically make me turn around jump just from jumping. Yeah, so it's like quite a tight timing window. I let the train pass. So if you want to do a back air, you throw out, you press A after the jump, like as soon as possible. But if you want to do a forward air, you wait like, I don't know how many frames, but if, I don't know, a millisecond or two. So if you want to do a forward air, you press jump, then you wait a couple milliseconds, then you press A, and you'll do a forward air from holding one direction, from holding the direction that puff isn't facing. Back air. I wish I had one of those controller reader things that allows people to see my controller inputs. Oops. And if you want to go from doing a forward air and turn around jump to do a back air, so I'm facing forward right now, you have to hold the direction that you're not facing to turn around. Oops. So you hold that direction right as you jump. And if you do it really, really quickly, you can like cover like almost no distance as you do a turnaround jump to get back into the back air stance. But yeah, I need to practice these things more. This is like I consider this to be fundamental puff techniques because like it is so basic. But even though it's basic, so it's like basic to her character movement, it's like advanced at the same time because like I know the skill ceiling goes pretty high with how you can use like turnaround jumping as part of like Puff's toolset. You can use it to like change up your juggles, to I don't know, space out your opponent, to surprise your opponent with a kill move, to instantly like grab ledge from like going back air, forward air, grab ledge. Yes, here's something I find really useful. It's just short hop, grab ledge, short hop, backwards, whoops, grab ledge. Really good. It's like pretty safe too. It's instant. So if you're a puff, like, it's really good. Just short hop, backwards, ledge. I guess like I'm not always going to be teaching or whatever, or sometimes I'll just be like practicing shit. But like, I think turnaround jumping is actually way more important as a tool in Puff's toolset than wave dashing. Oops. And like, I think being able to do this fast fall rising back air stuff, I think that's also very important. Like, I think I know in 20XX when like year X in the future, Puffs will be playing like a lot more precisely, especially in the air. I think like Puffs will be all about microspacing and like controlling their height in the air very precisely as like they play. And like I think fast falling is an integral part of Puff controlling her height in the air. Because like it's easy for Puff to gain height, but like it's a bit tricky for Puff to come down. So I think like Puff needs to have fast falling as part of her tool set to like do those microspacing things where like Puff can like adjust like exactly how high she is, and like yeah. It's a bit annoying when like you have something that you want to do but your hand gets confused. Yeah, sometimes I've been able to get really fast with my fast fall back air spam. And like I want to be able to do that like as low as possible to the ground because like I think it's quite dangerous. Because it's like, yeah, really fast. And like if I'm able to get it right above the ground, like I could really fuck up someone's day. And like, imagine that consistently being thrown out at Marth's head height. Or even Pichu's head height. Like, if we get that precise with our movement, like, yeah, Jigglypuff is very hard to approach if that ever happens. Of course, Falco would have a method of dealing with Jigglypuff like spamming back air at Falco's head height because Falco's laser turns Jigglypuff around. So that's another reason to be good at turnaround jumping, because if you're fighting against Falco and Falco turns you around with a laser and you want to hit Falco with a back air, then you need to do a turnaround jump fast fall back air in order to be at the correct height and like have the right micro spacing so that you'll be able to hit Falco with the back air. It's a bit tricky hitting the right angles on your controller. I'm using an Xbox One controller, by the way, and I've mapped jump to the shoulder buttons. I know like this isn't tournament legal in a lot of places, but soon enough I'm going to be getting a box. You know that hacks thing? B0XX, I guess you could call it. B0XX. So it's like 20XX as a box because that's like part of Hax's branding now as like a person. He's like the 20XX person. But yeah, I think like people should be able to use like PlayStation controllers or Xbox controllers if they want to use them in tournament. And I think like we should be playing with like tournament versions of Melee. So like versions where it's got only the tournament legal stages that you can select, and like you have to hold down start for like a second before like the game actually pauses in case like someone accidentally presses start. Like there are a lot of ways using a tournament version of like an ISO will like streamline tournaments, streamline people playing, make it easier for like tournament organizers. People won't need to like lug around CRTVs. People can use like pretty well whatever controller they want to use. Ooh, Puff's got a sword right through her eye. Right through her iris. It doesn't even go through a tiny bit of blue. Puff's dead. She's gone. Stabbed right through the back of her head and out through her ginormous eye. Yeah, but like I think people should be able to remap the buttons on their controllers however they want to remap them. And I think we should be playing Melee at competitive level through emulation. Because like realistically, like barely anybody in the Melee community regularly plays Melee on a GameCube anymore. Like I'm sure like the vast majority of people in the Melee community play Melee on their computers, emulating it. And they have to do that if they want to take advantage of NetPlay. I guess like if they want to use a lot of, like if they want to use Uncle Punch or if they want to use 20XX, they could use like a Wii and like emulate it on the Wii. But like still it's emulation regardless. So like Yeah. I guess like the strongest argument I have for why we should be playing like Tournament Melee on like emulators and on modern flat screen TVs is because it costs a lot of money to get a good GameCube controller which is able to wave dash correctly, is able to like do, I know, pivoting and like all of the techniques that you want to do in a match. It takes a very good controller to do that, and good GameCube controllers are expensive. And I think like I bought my first GameCube controllers. I bought them for like two of them for $30 and they're third-party GameCube controllers. Quite cheap, but they have like the same design and stuff as Nintendo-made controllers. Like the same bodies, the same sort of components, similar electronics and all the rest. But the controllers feel very 2001, 2002. And like that really shocked me as someone who's been using an Xbox One controller exclusively. Just like how dated the GameCube controllers feel in your hand. And yeah, I think as a community we can do better. We don't need to put ourselves through like the agony of using these old controllers. We don't need to pay like hundreds of dollars to incredibly talented controller modders in our community to like make the best of a bad situation by like magically coming up with the correct parts and getting like analog sticks that don't have dead zones and I don't know, whatever else crazy magic controller luthiers do. Like, people who specialize in making GameCube controllers function correctly wouldn't exist if we were able to use modern controller hardware in tournaments. Like the, how do you say, the, it's not standards, it's the like tolerance that Nintendo would have had for mistakes in their controllers would be much higher than the tolerance that Sony or Microsoft has for their modern controllers in like the late 2010s, early 2020s. So like the engineering specifications and designs and tolerances for mistakes in the manufacturing process for controllers is much tighter nowadays compared to in the past. Like in 2002, like there's been a whole 18 years of development in electronics and ergonomics and everything else fancy to do with controllers, like millions upon millions upon millions of dollars worth of research has been put into these controllers by these multinational games companies. Like, there's been so much advancement in technology. Why don't we just take advantage of that advancement that, like, is available to us? Instead of continuing to use GameCube controllers, I think, like, here's a train.